What a do, Lemon Crew. Today is the day because every single Elder Scrolls YouTuber has to do this at some point, and today it's my turn. I'm going to be talking about the Elder Scrolls 6. So I'm going to go through a few things, like is it actually happening, what can we expect if it is, like what's taking them so long, will there be new races, who's the main antagonist, where will it be set. I'm going to go through all the theories, I'm going to give you my views about it. So we're going to start with, is it actually happening? Yes, I can definitely say that the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to come out, because Todd Howard was in an interview. If you don't know who Todd Howard is, sorry, God Howard we should call him, he was in an interview during E3 2016. He created Fallout 3 and 4, you know, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, that kind of thing. If I'm wrong with any of this, just correct me. But he was in an interview with E3 2016, and upon being asked,
"Are you guys gonna do an Elder Scrolls 6?"
he replied with,
I mean, that's kind of like the elephant in the room always when we talk about anything, and you know, I think it's good to in these moments to tell our fans, yes, of course we are.
So that basically confirms, yes, there will definitely be an Elder Scrolls 6. Also, there was a leak that there'll be a new Elder Scrolls title mentioned. It'll be released in E3 this year, but that's probably not true at all. And even if it is true, it'll probably just be something like Elder Scrolls Legends, and we don't want to talk about that. So what's taking Bethesda so long? Well, in the same interview, Todd explains that they don't have the technology to make the game yet, so I'm guessing it's going to be quite a while before we see the game. But, you know, what can we expect from Elder Scrolls 6 then? Because if they don't have the technology, then, you know, obviously it's going to be pretty good. Like, if he really meant what he said, we can expect a lot. So, like, you know, he has set high expectations, not with just the immensely painfully long wait, but, you know, if they don't have the technology, they must be planning big. Now I'm just going to go through the theories for the Elder Scrolls 6, and, you know, my own theories. So, like, first I want to start, where's it going to be set? There are loads of theories. One of the most common theories, in fact, is that the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be set in Valenwood. Now, one of the problems I have with Valenwood, and elsewhere, which is another theory, Valenwood or elsewhere, they're too small, you know? Because if you look at an actual map of Tamriel, you know, you've got Valenwood, elsewhere, like even Somerset, and then you look at like Skyrim or Cyrodiil or Morrowind, they're so much bigger, and you know, like we don't want a map that's too small, because that's just going to be disappointing. Now another theory on the same topic with Valenwood and elsewhere is that, you know, they're going to be in the same game together, so there's going to be Valenwood and elsewhere. Now that's actually possible. I think this is probably one of the most valid arguments. But yeah, I don't think Valenwood or elsewhere on their own would be possible, because they're just far too small. So Hammerfell is another one. Now that's partially been done, you know, with obviously the Elder Scrolls Online, and but in Daggerfall you could go to a bit of Hammerfell, and obviously in Redguard you got to explore the island of Stros Mackay, which is minuscule and probably won't be included in Elder Scrolls 6 if it is set in Hammerfell. But I actually doubt that they will do it in Hammerfell. I mean, obviously it's possible, because it's a good place for the game to be set, but it's just, you know, we've already seen 3 human provinces in a row if they do Hammerfell. You know, like it just wouldn't be satisfying enough. We want to go back to somewhere like Morrowind or Valenwood, where, you know, elves or Khajiit live. You know, it's something mystical, because we've had 10 years now of just human stuff in Elder Scrolls. Now, so sticking to the kind of we want mystical stuff, Somerset Isles. Once again, that's too small. So it's just like Valenwood or elsewhere on their own. They're too small, like I've already said. It's, you know, it's obviously a really good place, because we've never been there. Well, obviously with Somerset coming out for Elder Scrolls Online, literally in a few days, we will see. For console, PC, you guys already have it. But also we get to go to Auradon from the start, which is the smaller island. But, you know, Somerset Isles is too small. So another theory is Somerset Isles and Piondaneer. That kind of is my own theory. If you don't know what Piondaneer is, that's where the Mauma or the Sea Elves are from. It's actually outside of Tamriel. Now, a lot of people are saying, you know, outside of Tamriel isn't possible. Oh yeah, it would be cool, but it's not a good idea, because they want to explore all of Tamriel first. But Pioneer, I suppose, is a bit of an exception because we know quite a bit about Pioneer, and you know it might as well be part of Tamriel, but it's just not. And Somerset Isles, you know, with it being too small, somewhere like Pioneer would be perfect to bring the map up to a decent size. Now, one theory that loads and loads and loads of people have that I just really don't like is Akavir, because that just won't work. Now, Akavir is just a completely different continent to Tamriel. Now, the reason this won't work is because Akavir and Tamriel have constantly been at war, so they'd have to come up with a pretty strange explanation as to why you can go to Akavir. Or, if it is set in Akavir, we won't be able to play as any of the races we already know and love. We'd only be able to play with either the Seichi, Tangmo, Kamal, or Capo Tung, and neither of which we really know enough about to play as them in a game. Another theory is all of Nirn. Once again, like Akavir, it won't really work, and it is a big jump. So, like, you know, if they did do all of Nirn, like, what are they going to do after that, you know, for Elder Scrolls 7? Are they just going to go back to one province? Because that would kind of ruin our expectations, and ruin the business of, you know, all of it. So, one good thing a few people have said, and I've thought of myself, is all of Morrowind. So Morrowind, Vardenfell, and the mainland. We've already been to Vardenfell, and now Vardenfell in ESO, and we've been to parts of the mainland, most of the mainland in ESO. So I think having Vardenfell and the mainland in the same game would be really good, not being online. But the problem is, as I've said, you know, you get to go to most of the mainland and Vardenfell on ESO, so we've basically seen it all, so it wouldn't be that, you know, the surprising element. Another theory is Black Marsh. Yes, it's small, but it isn't as small as Valenwood or elsewhere. I think it would be perfect because it sizes up to Skyrim, you know, quite nicely. If you look at the geography, I mean, yes, it is smaller, it is a bit small, but it isn't too small. This is possible, but I don't think that they would go from, you know, a classical fantasy Nordic kind of setting to where they, you know, there's lizards and it's all swamps and they worship trees. I just think that wouldn't be very appropriate of them to do that, because they won't get any new fans, because Oblivion and Skyrim both brought new fans to the Elder Scrolls universe. But Black Marsh is a possibility. It's also what a lot of people want. And by the way, yes, it is called Black Marsh, not Argonia. One thing people want to see in the Elder Scrolls 6 is new races. No. There's already 10 races in the game, which is enough, and people, you need to come up with an excuse for new races. Like, you know, people say, oh, we want the Dwemer back, we want the Falmer back, we want Aelids back. The thing is, the oldies aren't coming back, because if they were to come back, they probably, like, there would be no explanation. That maybe someone found the Dwemer, you know, or like, you know, there was the Falmer in Skyrim, but they're all dead. As far as we know, they're dead. The last Aeliad died in Elder Scrolls Online. You know, they're dead. They're gone forever. So if they were to be in a game, the game would have to be set thousands of years before the current games. And, you know, that wouldn't work, because Elder Scrolls Online is basically set as early as you can get, because if it was set any time before that, the law states that, you know, you wouldn't be able to use any magic unless you were kind of important, like, you know, military mage or something like that, because the Mages Guild actually opened up magic to the public, and the Mages Guild was created during Elder Scrolls Online. Well, not during, you know, like a little bit before, but, you know. So it wouldn't really work to have any new races, but, you know, I suppose you could be a military mage or something like that, but, you know, it's very unlikely. Now, the main antagonist, a lot of people actually want to know. You know, I didn't think it was a big issue. I kind of like the surprise, but, you know, I'll go through it anyway. You know, obviously the obvious choice would be a Daedric Prince, but the thing is, I think it's been done too many times now, you know, with a lot of the DLCs, especially the Oblivion, and, you know, Oblivion, the base game, Mehrunes Dagon, Elder Scrolls Online, but basically all the DLCs, and obviously, you know, the main one being Molag Bal. You've got a lot of Clavicus Vile involved in Elder Scrolls Online DLCs, Nocturnal, Mephala. You've got, you know, Hermaeus Mora in the Skyrim DLC, Dragonborn. So I think it's been done a bit too many times. Now, what a lot of people play just Skyrim and don't really know the Elder Scrolls universe, they still want a new game, and they're going to expect there to be dragons, and, you know, the dragon might be a main antagonist, just like Alduin the World Eater was. I mean, yes, there's a possibility Alduin might return, but no, there's not going to be any dragons. The dragons are dead. They've done that. That's been done. They came back, and, you know, they're not coming back. There is a possibility, though, that maybe outside of a game in the lore, or like a future game. But yeah. So I think the most possible thing is, you know, besides a Daedric Prince, is just a guy, you know, but like a powerful guy, like in Daggerfall or Morrowind. I mean, yes, this is possible, but it's a bit too boring, so I really don't know. Because if our expectations are that high, I think Bethesda kind of have to step their game up from, you know, it being just a guy. So I think that we can expect something good. But yeah, in conclusion, you know, official conclusion, in conclusion, I think that the Elder Scrolls 6 will definitely offer something good for us. So we can have our high expectations. You know, we might have to wait until 2025, something ridiculous like that. But you know, it's coming. I'm sat here waiting patiently. You know, just play Elder Scrolls Online. I mean, loads of stuff are coming out on that. You know, just play that while we wait. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video, or you know, if you dislike it, just don't dislike it, please. Now I've said that, everyone's gonna dislike it. You know, I don't care. You know, just rate the video. Comment on the video, because I like reading your comments. I will reply to every single one of my comments. I'll try to, at least, if I get loads. Do share the video. You know, this outro's gone on for far too long. See you later, guys.